Hi friends, welcome to NetTalks Tamil. Today we are going to discuss about trunk port or tagged port. What is trunk or tagged ports? These switch ports are belongs to carry traffic of more than one VLAN. Usually in access port it will carry only one VLAN information, but if we configured as a trunk port, it will be carry a more than one VLAN traffic over that particular port. This is a great advantage as a carry the traffic of group of VLAN in a single switch port. The single switch port can be used for carrying a multiple VLAN traffic. See, if you want to communicate between two different switches with different VLANs, then this trunk ports needs to be configured between two different switches. Or if you want to enable communication from switch to routers, and then multiple intra-VLAN communication needs to enabled, then we need to use the trunk port. In that case, intra-VLAN routing at the switch level, then we need to use a router on stick concept. That router on stick concept we will be going through in upcoming videos. In this scenario, we have two switches. The PC1 enabled with VLAN 2, PC2 enabled with VLAN 3, PC3 enabled with VLAN 2, PC4 enabled with VLAN 3. Here VLAN 2 is there, VLAN 3 is there, VLAN 2 is there, VLAN 3 is there. If this PC wants to communicate here and then this VLAN 3 wants to communicate to PC4, then it has to be pass multiple VLANs, two VLANs in this scenario. If I enable access port, by default access port, it can pass only one VLAN. It cannot pass the two VLANs. Whatever the VLAN is enabled here, those VLAN information only it can be passed. So if I configure as a trunk port, then it can be pass both the VLANs simultaneously without any issue. To that purpose, the trunk port or tagged port help us here. The trunk port can carry the traffic of different VLANs across them, but by default, if the links between switches are not a trunk, then only information from configured access VLAN will be exchanged. See, for this example, if I am not configured as a trunk port, if I configure as a access port VLAN 2, here also access port VLAN 2, then I can pass only VLAN 2 information over this link. I cannot communicate VLAN 3 PC2 to PC4 if I configure as a with the access VLAN 2 on this both the ports. If I configure as a trunk port, I can communicate each other without any issue. Let's take a look on one simple example. On switch 1, we can assign a computer A to VLAN 10 and we assign a computer B to VLAN 20. And switch 2, computer C assigned to VLAN 10, computer D assigned to VLAN 20. Now it is both are, we can see the both as A and B are isolated and C and D are isolated. If I want to enable a communication between system A and C and B and D, I need a connection between these switches. The connection which needs to be enabled, that we will call as a trunk port. That link is called as a trunk. There is no special cable is required for this. Only the configuration we need to do as a trunk. In this information, whatever the carries over the trunk port, it will be like a tagged. It will be flagged with the VLAN ID. But normally in access port, it will not get. The access ports are untagged ports. The trunk ports are tagged ports. Whatever the information passing over the trunk ports, those are tagged. In the trunk, usually, okay, in the previous one we seen that like routers also connected over the trunk port. That routers which is connected over the switch to router is a trunk port, then it can be passed a multiple VLANs. If it is enabled with the access VLAN, it can be passed only one VLAN. If you want to enable the router on stick inter VLAN communication, then we need to enable a trunk port which is connected to the router. Now here the trunk port, whatever the trunk port information sends, it is a like completely the informations are tagged. Let's see in this example. Here these access ports, four access ports are there. A, B, C, D is connected to the access port. It is a untagged port. Access ports are untagged port that we need to specifically need to configure. If you configure as an access port, only one VLAN information will be getting passed. There cannot be passed multiple VLAN. If I assign as a untagged port the VLAN 10, then only VLAN 10 can be communicate. If this untagged port enabled with the VLAN 20, only VLAN 20 can communicate. This VLAN 10, whatever the information sends in Ethernet header, it will be like a plain Ethernet frame. Now let's see the PC A wants to communicate to PC B. See, when the traffic comes from the A, it is a plain Ethernet frame. In that Ethernet frame, we could not find any VLAN ID. It will not have any information about that VLAN. This particular traffic wants to send to which VLAN, those information will not be there. By default, whatever the VLAN 10, it will be sending a broadcast messages to the particular VLANs. Now it will be having source, destination MAC, source MAC, and then type or length, data, FCS. Those information will be contained in the Ethernet frame. Then the Ethernet normal frame will come to the switch port. When it is passing to the trunk port, it will be getting flagged with VLAN tagging. It will be contains the VLAN information, that is 12 bit. Yesterday while we were discussing about VLANs, we seen that 12 bits. This VLAN identifier is a 12 bit. Up to it can say only 124095 VLAN number, it can be allocated here. That's why VLAN number is 024095. If you want about brief about the VLANs, you please go through my previous videos which is available in my channel. It will be get flagged about VLAN identifier, VLAN ID. This traffic, which VLAN I should send, those information will be contained in this particular Ethernet header frame. The switch, if you see in that Ethernet header, okay, in the header, in the frame header, okay, you can see this particular information about which VLAN I need to send. Here I have a flag, I need to VLAN 10. Then this traffic will get moved to here. Again, it will get untagged and it will be sent it to PCC. See, I could able to see the VLAN tagging here. It is going via the link blue, which is the VLAN 10. That same traffic will go here and then it will get untagged. After that, it will be sending to VLAN 10 PCC. See this, it will get unflagged now. Post that, it will get removed and it will be send it to the PCC. See this what the trunking will work. The trunk is used to carry a multiple VLAN traffic over the between devices, switch to switch or switch to router. Switch to router, it is a router on stick concept to enable inter VLAN. If I want to communicate between VLAN 10 to VLAN 20, I need a router. In router, I need to connect one port. That port should be enabled with a trunk. In the trunk, I need to enable a .8021Q. I need to enable inter VLAN routing. We will be seeing in upcoming classes about router on stick concept, how by using a router, how we can enable a router on stick and how we can enable inter VLAN routing. In this scenario, it's not possible to communicate system A to D, system A to B. Two different VLAN cannot be communicated. without any L3 device. Hope this video makes you clear about the trunk port or tagged port. The trunk is a Cisco terminology, tagging is non-Cisco terminology. Thanks for watching Net Talks Tamil. Please like it, share it, subscribe it. If you have any doubts, please drop your doubts in comment box. It will be addressed in upcoming videos.